Hope everyone enjoyed their weekend and ready to get some tokenized done. So I'm John Pittman, also known as the Token Advisor, and I'm here with some industry news for you guys. So let's get this segment started with some news on the Eastern Hemisphere. Where exactly? Japan. So a company called Japan Exchange Group, or JPX, announced that they are looking into raising funds through security tokens in the form of what's called a digitally tracked green bond. Once again, I said looking into, which means JPX is just in the research phase. A digitally tracked green bond is a bond that utilizes blockchain technology to improve transparency of data and efficiency of data collection. The primary objective of the initiative is to help JPX achieve carbon neutrality as an issuer. They believe that in the future, it will be possible to consider creating a sustainably linked bond that automatically changes bond issuance conditions, such as the interest rate that's tied to the achievement of sustainability targets. You know what else is green? Security token markets company colors. So our very own Peter Gaffney dropped an amazing article, once again, with his Tokenized This series, which is now up to 51, if you count. This week, Peter highlighted tokenized sports franchises. He brings up a great point that sports and crypto are actually beginning to collide explosively. As a matter of fact, some of the biggest news coming out of the Super Bowl last week centered around crypto commercials. But let's talk about the benefits of tokenizing a sports franchise. So to start, if you didn't know, sometimes these sports franchises have a good amount of people who have shares in a particular sports team. Security tokens allow individual share owners to liquidate portions of their shares for whatever reason, whatever purpose they might want the liquidity for. The security tokens can be structured as an equity, a debt backed by franchise operations, or simply just a revenue share in future performances. In turn, fans could experience the upside emotionally and financially if the teams are performing well. Just for reference, the Golden State Warriors recently sold a 5% minority stake while being valued at $5.5 billion in comparison to the valuation of $450 million back in 2010. That's an 1,122% increase for those that don't want to do the math. But you know who is doing the math? Cameron Hijazi, the CEO and co-founder of the NFT marketplace, Cent, who just suspended most of the NFT sales in his marketplace, citing rampant fakes and plagiarism. Now, I don't know if you ever heard the story of Jack Dorsey selling his first tweet that he ever made for almost $3 million. Well, this was the platform that did it. Hijazi highlights three main problems which caused a shutdown. For one, people were selling unauthorized copies of other NFTs. Two, people were making NFTs of content which did not belong to them. And three, people were selling sets of NFTs that looked to be a security by the SEC's definition. Hijazi goes on to say that he realizes it's just money chasing money, but the company will remain keen on protecting content creators and may introduce centralized controls or short-term measures in order to reopen the marketplace. How they handle this situation is something we all should watch play out. Another thing that the finance industry has been watching is the SEC and its reluctance to approve a spot Bitcoin ETF. So apparently, the SEC allowed comments and feedback on a proposed rule change that will convert Greyscale's Bitcoin Trust to a spot-based exchange-traded fund, otherwise known as an ETF. The proposed rule change generated a long list of comments with a large majority on approval. Several respondents to the SEC proposal argue that the regulator had already approved futures-based exchange-traded products, so a spot-based product should logically come next. As of recently, Greyscale Bitcoin Trust has been trading at a massive discount in recent months as investors have speculated and hedged on the ETF being approved by the SEC. Now, the U.S. risks falling behind other countries such as Canada, which have already approved such investment products. But something else you don't want to fall behind on is a new series called Open Tab, hosted by myself. This week, I pair great guests with great cocktails, and the new episode drops this Wednesday right here on our YouTube channel. That's it. Let's pass it on to Meg so she can spill the tea on our security token offered updates. Now we'll